Welcome back to Wave Listens Live. Joining me now is Jim Desmond, owner and attorney of Desmond Law Office. Jim, you are I see your name all over the city. So I think most people can see the name Jim Desmond and know that you're at least somebody in this town. And what you do,
I don't know about that, but I appreciate it.
So law is something that you obviously spent a lot of time in. You've been able to use your specialty to help a lot of people, or use your mind to help a lot of people in Louisville. So for those who are maybe unfamiliar, tell everybody who you are and how you can help them in a time of need.
Well, this is the thing. I'm a car wreck attorney. I only do car wrecks. I've been doing car wrecks for 20 some odd, 25, 30 years. God, it's going by quickly. Used to be with one of the big firms. Now I do everything myself, and I use my cell phone so that my clients can get hold of me, and they love that. And I like that too. Makes it easier on me. I can actually answer phone calls, for example, on the way home from this, rather than to be, waiting and having to call people back. The part that, like today, this is a new year, and what I think we need to start getting at a little bit with people, everybody knows they need car insurance, but they think about it and they think they need it for the wrong reasons. They don't want the citation from the police officer. Well, I don't want them to have that either, but that's, a citation, a court date, $500 fine maybe. What I worry about is that people need car insurance, not only to make a personal injury claim, which is what I do on their behalf, but in addition, if they ever got sued, they want to be able to turn it over to their insurance company, have a defense counsel hire them. They can't afford those attorney fees. So it's one of those that they not only need the car insurance and need to see what it is in the beginning part of the year, but also on that policy. Like, one of the things I always try to stress to all my clients, Sean, is that uninsured and underinsured coverage. Because everybody thinks that you get in a car accident, the other guy's responsible for everything. It doesn't work that way, okay? There's many drivers that have no insurance. There's many drivers that don't have enough insurance to cover your medical bills, much less your claim for pain and suffering. So kind of what I've been preaching about a little bit today is, and with other people too, with the new year, is that let's take a look at the car insurance, get it in order. God forbid you need it. We hope you don't. But it's kind of like a snowblower. We want to have it all gassed up and oiled and ready to go, even though Kentucky doesn't have it.
You just hope you don't use it. So you think about that, and I think one thing that everyone can agree on in life, life's not always fair.
Correct.
And if you do everything right, but someone else does something wrong, then ultimately it hurts you. So when you're dealing in those cases, how do you navigate that with trying to keep somebody out of trouble who's done everything right? Maybe even in the accident, they're not at fault, but it's still going to come. It's going to be a hassle. It could be problematic financially. It could be problematic for your record. But working with those people, with you, how do you navigate that situation, that kind of situation, and make sure that you're putting them first?
You hit on the nose, which is the law endeavors to be fair, but it does not succeed. That's why, you lose a left arm in a car wreck, and if it's a commercial truck, it's $1 million case, and if it's a 1980 Chevrolet, it's $25,000 case. One of the biggest things is to work with the clients directly, okay? I try to stress to my clients and anybody else, even if you don't think you want to do a personal injury claim, you are creating the possibility, or you're preparing for the possibility, that you're in court 2 years from now at the accident scene, okay, forward. So that's why I tell my clients, if you're hurting, the car looks like an accordion, ambulance to emergency room, okay? Go document your injuries, but also get checked out, because you don't know how badly you're hurt. Take photos of the damaged car. Take photos of the bruises. All these things are why I work with them directly, because I would say personal injury claims, we all advertise on TV and say, oh, we're going to do this and that. The real truth is it's very much like a computer. Garbage in, garbage out. So the more you give us to work with, the better. If I present a claim to an adjuster down the road and I can show a huge bruise on the arm, okay, then that adjuster understands this is not just somebody saying, oh, my neck hurts. No, this was a severe injury, and a jury would understand that.
Yeah, and one thing that I've learned from doing this show specifically, talking to so many people from so many different industries, as much as I think I know about certain industries or certain things or certain processes, I know nothing compared to people who have spent years and years of their lives dedicated to that thing. So when it comes to car wrecks and car accidents, you think you know what to do. You think you know the process. At what point, though, is it time to call Jim Desmond?
Well, you're going to get me. So you got me started when you went, because I think it's from minute one. Okay, I've been called from the accident scene. I don't mind. I pick up my cell phone myself. I don't let other people do it. You don't talk to case managers. We don't go through 20 questions. Within the first 5 to 10 minutes, I can see if I can help them. We might be even starting to work on getting a police report. But the part I was smiling at that I thought you were going at is so many people, especially about car accidents, get bad advice. Okay, car accidents are like selling your house. Everybody wants to think they can do it, and then they find out the realtor would have done it better. All right, I had a client I signed up the other day, and their insurance agent saying you don't need an attorney. Well, as an attorney, I can say and do more. I have the right to give legal advice. An insurance agent doesn't have that right, okay? An insurance company doesn't have that right. So let's say you have a big case, and they say, oh, we're gonna tender our policy limits. You don't need an attorney. You don't need us to work for you. Well, what about your underinsured claim against your own company? What's gonna happen to it? Oh, you didn't do it right? It goes away. It doesn't exist under the law. That's why I tell people, pick up the phone, call me. I don't mind talking to them. I had a gentleman the other day, back to even the defense side. I don't do it. But he was all worried because he was at fault. And I took 5 minutes to go through it and explain to him what the situation was, and that said, hey, get your insurance company online with this and you can still call me. That's the Desmond difference. The Desmond difference is that we don't use case managers, we don't use paralegals. You deal with me directly, and if it's nothing but good advice for 5 minutes, that's what I'm going to do.
And you've got the phone number on the screen there. That is your cell phone number. So if you got a pen and paper sitting next to you at home, write this number down, 502-609-7657. You can also find the number on the website on the screen as well. That is a direct line. I know we've got only 30 seconds left here, but why should somebody call that number versus somebody else?
Because they get free legal advice immediately. And if they don't want to do anything, they don't have to, but we're going to get them on track. I'm going to show them what the game plan would be, and it's up to them and where they take it. But at least that way, when they're told they can or can't do something, they know it's right.
Yeah, how many different attorneys can you call that quickly? Even one that you just saw on TV a few short minutes ago. Call that number right there or visit attorneydesmond.com. Jim, thanks for joining us today.
Sean, I appreciate it.